play the start for you guys of the Stranger Things, the Lewis Fulton flip. You can find that on the Wanderlust on YouTube if you really want to. It's available as well on the SoundCloud and Spotify. But onto the discussion that I have brought for you today, guys. Excuse me. And it will basically be on about crypto mining. A lot of YouTubers, I'm not going to specify their names. If you are on YouTube, you will know who they are. A lot of YouTubers are coming out and dishing a trailer over this crypto mining currency at the minute. Stuff, and I'm going to actually say who they are because some of you guys might not know, but you're having Jay's 2 cents. He came out last week and he ranted about crypto mining and how gaming was being destroyed by crypto mining. Then you had basically Woodswares came out on YouTube and basically dished Jay's 2 cents and Linus Tech Tips on their mining quality. Basically dished Jay's 2 cents over his arguments about crypto mining, and he also dished Linus for trying to obviously defend Jay's 2 cents, basically for building a mining rig that wasn't sufficient to even crypto mine. So obviously Linus has come back with a punch and basically has said, "Fuck this! I'm going to make a mining rig that can obviously do a lot more mining than Woodswares PC, and just to try and mock his hardware." In some aspect, that's kind of view I got. And obviously Jay's 2 cents then came on apologizing, for the position he was in, because obviously he's trying to stay friendly with the community and he doesn't want to drop any subs, obviously for offending, obviously this guy, even though this guy was technically offending him. So it was like kind of a jab at a chiller there. And then obviously Barnacles or Barnacles, Nerdgasm, depending on what way you want to say it, he's come on and done a big speech about obviously the YouTube changes and also about the crypto mining. I usually listen to now and again Barnacles on certain aspects. His crypto mining outcome was interesting to listen to, the same as Jay's and Woodswares, but I also didn't like the fact that Barnacles and Nerdgasm basically released his video the other day about YouTube changes and how it's going to affect lower creators like myself and lower streamers, and obviously how it's going to wipe out the bots, but it's also going to affect people that obviously aren't making a lot on YouTube, like myself, because I actually stream on Twitch. I'm not really on YouTube. I do upload videos now and again for you guys to try and keep in touch, and I should do a lot more for you on YouTube. I fully admit that. So I will be pushing myself and pushing my creations and my work to obviously provide you more on YouTube. But I didn't like the fact that he was stating that if you have low subscribers, low viewers on your videos, you kind of need every viewer to watch about 10 minutes of your video to guarantee that you're going to obviously get this payout at the end of the calendar year. Now, I feel that he deliberately, instead of giving it in simple form, I feel that he deliberately made his video longer. Half of it he was just talking nonsense. He was doing wee jokes and jibes just to extend the video. Basically, the video ran on for 32 minutes. So anybody that does like watching this content, clearly watch that for 32 minutes. And if they did, then instead of one user watching it for 10 minutes, which obviously adds up to a handful of users, adds up to his hours adding up, so therefore it gets rid of his retention, and therefore he gets paid by YouTube. Instead of that, he got the extension from one user watching 30 minutes, so it cut down the main users that actually had to watch his video for 10 minutes. This I thought was a jab and a quick swifty of how he's going to get his payouts. plus the fact that he's going, oh, I feel really bad for the lower creators because they're struggling to make these hours, yet he's making a gimmicky um, YouTube video that's 3 times as long as his normal videos just to try and suck up the cash cow himself and guarantee that he's getting a payout, but yet he's still going, oh, I feel really sorry for the lower class on YouTube that they can't even get somebody to watch 10 minutes of their video. So I thought that was kind of slimy. If anybody agrees or disagrees, please let me know in the chat for this video and I will get back to you. Now, I have no problems with Barnacles or Barnacles Nerdgasm. I usually love his content, but that's the only thing that's kind of got me. You know, some people have their opinions. This is just my opinion on that subject. You know, my other opinion is I love Jay's 2 cents. I love Linus. I love watching their stuff. But yes, it was a full rant by Jay's 2 cents. A lot of what he said obviously wasn't 100% true, but that's just because this section has pissed him off, and he is just right. I am exactly in his boat. I agree with which words what his argument was. That Jay's 2 cents is going on. You can't build a budget PC nowadays for about £500 or $500. It's gonna cost you maybe $800 or £750 roundabout to build at least a reasonable gaming machine to keep up with the modern times. DDR4 you can't do anything with at the minute because a lot of motherboards are releasing RDDR4, as you guys know, and DDR4 has been in high demand since it has released. I don't think they should have released DDR4 until they knew that they could cope with capacity, but hey, you can't tell these people. They just want to push out new products, new hardware, and obviously sell, and then realize they've got a problem afterwards, and they've still got a problem. And I hope that somebody out there, Samsung or Micron or somebody, can start pushing out more memory sticks at a cheaper value for budget gamers. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, because if people keep buying up the memory at the minute for the extortionate prices that they are at the minute, then they're going to kind of go, well, they're used to now paying them prices, let's just keep them at that price. I hope that's not the way it's going to be marketed in the future, because it will really affect the gaming scene. But onto the crypto mining, I have no problem if you have updated your hardware for Christmas, New Year's, Black Saturday, and or somebody's bought your computer, or your computer's, kind of went old on you and you can't do much with it, and you just want to play new games, and you are part of the PC master race and don't like consoles, or you're switching over from a console to a PC. I'm not annoyed by the standard person at their house that's updated their graphics card for a stronger one and has other graphics cards just lying around and another PC lying around, and they're wanting to mine on that, so therefore they get enough money then to pay the extortionate prices of graphics cards nowadays. So at the minute they could be running a 1050 Ti. They've obviously taken out, say, a 960 GTX, even though it performs better than the 1050, by the way. And they're basically saying, right, well, I'm going to mine on this card. Yeah, I've only got the one card, and difficulty's getting higher in the crypto mining scene, but I can at least make something back to buy maybe RGB fans for my computer to keep my hardware cooler. I can buy another rad, or I can buy a cheap reservoir, for water cooling off eBay or something with the money that I'm getting. I have no problem with that, because they're trying to use it to obviously to combat the extortionate prices of hardware and obviously still get something in return. Plus they're using their older hardware that, instead of collecting dust in a cupboard, or that nobody wants really on eBay, because you're not going to get the price for the graphics card roundabout that you paid for, that's a good thing what they're doing. I have no problem. The problem I have with crypto mining is the fact that you have these warehouses, and these warehouses have maybe 100, some of them even have 200-300 graphics cards all linked up on PCI risers, or PCI Express risers basically. and they're all linked up. And then on top of that, they've also got a stockpile of maybe another 100 graphics cards ready to go in case one obviously has a problem or burns out or is not performing like the rest of them, and they just switch them out. And then they'll obviously sell them dodgy ass real hot graphics cards on eBay. So gamers are getting obviously crappy graphics cards on eBay for a cheaper price, and they're thinking, yes, this is really good, this is actually a better deal, I'm going to buy this one right now. Get it home and realize this thing runs fucking hot and you can't even overclock it at all, or it lasts maybe a year. Instead of you buying a new one that has maybe 3 years warranty, it lasts a year because it's just been ran 24/7, and it's eventually just burnt out the capacitors on it, and the resistors has just had enough. But the main problem I have obviously is the warehouses that have all these cards that are stockpiling the cards. Therefore, all the gaming graphics cards that obviously are designed for performance, hence why the crypto miners are buying them up instead of the mining cards, it leaves it on high demand, and therefore the graphics prices, for the cards have went right up through the roof. Therefore, people that want to get into gaming are looking at a graphics card, and they're buying crap. They're basically buying a 1050 Ti. They're buying a 950 GTX because that's all they can afford. You go back a couple of years ago and they'll be able to get something decent like a 970 GTX. Some people even get a 960 GTX, but with more memory and probably a different memory buffer on it. Instead of having 192 or 128 buffer on it, they probably get a 256 buffer. Some people get, obviously, instead of a 4 gig like 960 GTX, they maybe get a 6 gig, or instead of a 2 gig they get a 4 gig, and so on. But the problem I have now is, since the graphics cards went through the roof and it's high demand, you're paying, these budget gamers are paying double the money, near enough. Sometimes people are paying near triple the money that they used to be for these graphics cards, and therefore it's not really a physical feasible budget that they can afford. You look at the PlayStation Professional, or PlayStation Pro as people call it, that's out in the minute. You can get it for about £350 in the UK. And back then you could have built at least a reasonable computer for about £500 that would have been twice the performance of a console. Nowadays, you can hardly scratch the surface and the edge with that. Plus, add your aesthetics to your case, i.e. RGB lights, light strips, water cooling with nice UV liquid, or aesthetics as in a nice case. People just can't really budget this and afford this. They're getting crummy ass power supplies that maybe will blow in a couple of years and take all their hardware with it. So there's a lot of risk now, and the crypto mining scene is destroying that. Once it goes bang and they switch over back to ASIC mining again, I'm sure graphics cards will be more readily available, but I'm not too sure if the price will drop on them, apart from the ones that run hot, where they know there's a clear problem but they don't want to tell you, so they'll just sell for cheap. But as I said, it's stripping the gaming scene. People are going to stay on consoles. Other people don't want to obviously buy better graphics cards because they can't afford it, so they're trying to play games that just cannot run, optimally, basically. And they're end up going to give up on the gaming scene because they cannot run it on the PC correctly. They're looking at the graphics running on a PlayStation or on an Xbox One Extreme or Elite, and it seems to be better contrast for them, more consistency. They're obviously going to be able to play the modern games easy enough on them machines, so it is in a way killing the gaming scene. If you're thinking, here, I want to obviously stream and I want to play at the same time, the graphic cards that a budget gamer is now only going to be able to afford isn't going to do that. You can either record or you can stream. You can't really do the both. You got to put more money into the CPU than the GPU, or you got to put more money into the GPU and get a crummy CPU. So you're not going to get everything all together. You're either going to get value RAM, not great fucking megahertz RAM, bad cast latency RAM. You're going to get a low grade motherboard with half the features missing, or you're going to get a good motherboard but with a crummy CPU, and it'll all total up still to about 25% more than you would have paid for a couple of years ago on a budget rig. You know, building a budget computer nowadays is so hard because of the crypto mining warehouses that are basically annihilating the gaming scene. They have mining cards out that have specific algorithms inside them, and they are tuned to obviously mine, but they're ridiculously priced, and therefore they go for the gaming cards. And since they go for the gaming cards, you know, it's basically easier for them because they're still getting the right mega hashes or tera hashes out of it for their soaking up their money on their Bitcoin, Zencash, Zcash. I don't know if Dogecoin's still going, Ethereum, things like that, you know. So yeah, they're sucking that up. And the other problem I have is when Nvidia or Asus or MSI, companies like that basically say we're going to release for instance, a triple fan direct DU direct cooling card, you know, or a hydro version or some sort of shit when a new graphics card architecture is announced, and people are like, yes, 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 I can't wait to pre-order this. I really want to get this card at this retail price. The problem is when it goes to release, say for example, MSI go to release 3,000 of these new graphics cards. You can guarantee that about 2,500 of these cards are going to be soaked up straight away and sold to a mining farm, because they know that the money's coming in there and then, and they don't have to wait on a certain paycheck or a certain balance to obviously transfer over. You know, instead of taking a couple of days, they get it there and then, and it's instant profit. The other, I'd say the other 500 that are available and left, say maybe 100 of them goes to streamers and reviewers on YouTube, so therefore they can switch them over between each other. You know, Linus will obviously cover an MSI card, then he'll give it to Jay. Jay's 2 cents. Obviously, I'll have for instance, an Asus card, and then he'll give it to Linus, and they'll switch them over. So that already takes that aspect out of it, and then the handful of them left, by the time they get pushed out on the market, other miners that obviously don't own the big farms take them ones, and then there's only a couple left. The shops think, here, that was real high demand, we've already got a couple left, let's bump the prices up. So therefore you're going to the shop and you cannot afford them, and by the time you do afford them, you know, another miner has bought them, you know, or there's only the odd one left. And then everybody else is like, ha ha ha, I'm playing these top games, what have you got? Oh, I've got this, Haji, you know what I mean? And this guy's obviously praised because he's paid maybe £1,200 for this brand new graphics card. And you're sitting with a graphics card maybe that you paid £400, £500 for. So yeah, that's the main problem I have with the whole crypto mining scene. You know, but as I said, I have no problem with the average Joe sitting at the house wanting to mine on his single graphics card or 2 graphics card system that was his old PC, because you don't need a powerful fucking CPU, for fuck's sake. You can run it on a Xeon. You know what I mean? You can run it on an i5 2500K, for instance, which nowadays doesn't have a lot of performance in games. It still has a good kick, but it doesn't produce as much as the new graphic, you know, CPUs at the minute, you know, and you can get a new CPU for a reasonably cheap price that really would run a bit better than the 2500K. You know, I used to have an i5 2500K, and it was an amazing processor for years, and I didn't upgrade because I loved the way it ran. It ran at 4.7 gigahertz overclocked, at a very good voltage, and it was amazing. And I ran that on a Z68 gigabyte board, and it was fantastic. But then I noticed in certain aspects, like streaming and on games and even loading up programs, that it just didn't have the compute, you know, performance to obviously do jobs at the speed I wanted it to. I noticed a slowdown in it, and I upgraded. And when I upgraded, you know, the hell of a difference now for what I upgraded to, and you know, that's so. But you know, as I'm saying, you can use a Pentium, you can use a Celeron, you can use a Xeon, you can use an older i5, and you can obviously use this just to power up the system. A standard 850 watt power supply, power up a standard motherboard that you maybe get for £45, shove in a couple of graphics cards, and there you go, you're mining. And you'll make some money back to obviously then upgrade your hardware to better stuff. I have no problem with them type of gamers or consumers that are doing that at their house. It's just really the warehouses of graphics cards. I think it's just got to a ridiculous stage where it's come from somebody that wants to make money to update his hardware, realized here within the first year or two of mining, holy crap, within 128 days, for example, I've made all the money back on my hardware. I'm going to keep doing this. And it turns from wanting to upgrade your hardware to greed. I've just been able to buy a new car with this. I've just been able to buy a new house for this. And they just keep going and going and going because, somebody that gets power wants to keep power. And that's the problem with the crypto mining scene. Once it does go bang, and it eventually will, because nothing lasts forever. For all them people out there saying, oh, it's never going to go away, it's the new fad. No, that's not true. Nothing lasts forever. It's the same as humanity. We may be on the planet fucking for years and years and years, but eventually shit will go down and we'll all be fucking wiped out, So nothing lasts forever. And that's true in life as well. So, as I'm saying, once it does eventually go bang, then what? They've got fucking warehouses of fucking graphics cards, and what are they gonna do next? Their greed will turn, and their power will turn into something else. And to me, it's greed. They're sponging money off a system that clearly, obviously, was designed at the start for people to mine. Do algorithms just like Bionics that used to be out. I don't know if it's still going, where you used to join a program basically for NASA, for instance, and obviously search for pulsars in space, and obviously help the community and help the world find different stars and this and that. And it's turned from helping to obviously do these bank transfers and algorithms and searching for obviously cancer research and things like this to a power hungry, greedy community that obviously is hell-bent on obviously sucking up more graphics cards for more power. So that's the thing I hate the most, and I think that should really try and be curbed by many companies. And I don't like the fact that Asus, MSI, Nvidia announce to people, hey, look at this graphics card, and they show you it and get your hopes all up, and then they don't tell you. But by the way, when we're giving this out from day one, there's no point you queuing up for 4 hours at our local hardware shop, because it will not be there, because we're actually just going to sell them all straight away to these mining farms. They'll get them for retail price and bulk price. You'll get them for an extortionate price. I do not like that fact. So that's my call on crypto mining. You guys obviously can write in the chat or discussion threads and let me know your thoughts on the crypto mining scene. But seriously, guys, don't have a dish towards other YouTubers for saying their part. It's freedom of speech. There's freedom of movement, as you guys should fully be aware, and there's freedom of information. And I'm just giving you my opinion on the whole thing, why I obviously have never got into crypto mining, and obviously why I'm not too happy about these warehouses filled of graphics cards that other people could be using, budget gamers could be using right now to obviously get the best graphics, to obviously enjoy the game the way it's meant to be played, the way developers have made that game, and it will keep them entertained in that game by looking at all the beautiful graphics, having a good time gaming on competitive scenes. And then it'll obviously, convince them, or at least bring them, that when their graphics card does die, they get another one that obviously performs around the same, so it keeps them in the scene. But lately, as I said, there's hardly a graphics card out there. If you do manage to get a graphics card, you're paying extortionate prices, and it's because of them reasons. Let me know, guys. You've been watching me, SupermanZ. Follow me on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And make sure you check out on my link on Twitch, guys, and on the curating page, which is the Comic Center on Steam, my guide for the Windows 10 optimization and gaming experience. It is linked, unfortunately, in Steam in the Counter-Strike Go section. I cannot change it. I would like to put it in a global section, but unfortunately Steam only let you select certain games. So at the time that I started that guide, which has been updated and updated and updated, Counter-Strike Go at that time was a big kickoff and had most of the users in it, hence why I posted it there. Have a good one, guys. This is SupermanZ out.